Alrighty, well, good morning, everybody. It's 9:30 a.m., as you can see on the clock behind Rocky there. Yes. We had visitors at 4 a.m., raccoons. I got some good video of them, of a raccoon, which I'll upload today, along with this video and a bunch of others. I have to wait till I go outside to do that, because it won't work inside the camper. It rained quite a bit last night, and in fact it rained down even into the bed here because the roof leaks, so eventually the water went down into the bed. I have containers up there to catch it, but that doesn't always work. Anyway, so that happened. So it's been not a very good night for sleeping, but that's okay. It happens that way sometimes. Just had a can of rice pudding. There it is. Pudding a Riz Cream Ox. There we go. Creamed rice pudding made with milk. Ooh. Made with milk, Rocky. I gave Rocky rice pudding too, so now he's getting ready to go into a rice pudding coma, which is sort of like a chicken coma, but with rice. Anyway, during the little bit of time I was sleeping last night, I had a really strange dream. And it's kind of comical, actually, so I'll tell you about it. It has to do with a toilet. So you know right away it's going to be funny, because any dream that has to do with a toilet is funny. And no, I did not use the toilet in the dream. They tell you never use the toilet in the dream, because it's a trap. Well, I didn't do that. The bed is wet with rain. It isn't wet with anything because I used the toilet in the dream. But anyway, the toilet was actually for Rocky. In this dream, I was still living in my apartment above the Royal Bank in Perth. And that apartment had huge closets in it. It was a huge apartment. It took up about almost half of the top floor of that building. It was a huge, huge apartment. And there were some huge closets in it. And I had this dream that I was in some hardware store, and I found a little toilet, a little porcelain toilet with the tank and the seat and everything. Could be connected to the water supply, but the thing only stood maybe like a 1.5 or 2 feet tall. And like from the floor up to the top of the tank was like about 2 feet or something. So I bought this little toilet, and in my dream there was this closet off the living room, which actually was there. There was a big walk-in closet off the living room. And but in my dream, the closet had at one time had a toilet in it, but the toilet was gone by that time. But all the plumbing, the drain, and also the water inlet and everything was all still there. So, in my dream, I hooked up the toilet for Rocky. Rocky took to it like a duck to water. Rocky then started to poop in the toilet instead of pooping in his litter box. So, in the dream, Rocky had started to use this little toilet. Well, then one day I thought to myself, I've never seen Rocky flush that toilet. I've seen him use it, but I've never seen him flush it. And I mean, he'd sit on the toilet just like a person would sit on the toilet and do his pooping, but he never flushed it. And it just occurred to me one day after I had had this toilet for a while, I've never seen him flush this toilet. I've just seen him poop in it. So I go into the little closet, or to the big closet, to this walk-in closet, and I lift the toilet lid up and I look, and it is full. It's full of cat poop. Yeah, it was just full. So I thought, oh damn, I better flush this thing. So, of course, I take my finger and I do it with the little handle, because it was just like a full-size toilet, only it was small. And I just pushed the handle down. And when I did that, it all splashed up all over me, just covered me. All this water and poop. All this poopy water just covered me. It just came up like a geyser and it covered me because the toilet was kind of blocked from not having been flushed for so long. And so, anyway, in the dream, this is what happened. I got covered in poopy water. And then, what happens but my crazy landlord, my psychopathic landlord that I've talked about in other videos, he comes to the door. So now I got to answer the door, covered in all kinds of shit and corruption from the toilet. And he tells me he wants to have a look, wants to have a look at his property, that he's wanting to come in and look at the apartment. And he just pushes past me and he starts going from room to room, looking at every room. And then he goes into the walk-in closet and he comes out of there in a blind rage. Because he wants to know who the hell told me that I could put a toilet in there without his permission. Anyway, I woke up at that point, and I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if he beat me up or killed me or evicted me or what, but I'm thinking it must have been pretty bad whatever happened, because that's where the dream ended. So yeah, it was a weird dream. Every so often I'll have one of those. This one was kind of comical, in a way. I still have the image in my head of Rocky sitting on this little toilet now. It's quite a thing to think about. But yeah, see, he's in a rice pudding coma right now. So, anyway, quite a thing. So he took to using the toilet right away. He knew how to use the toilet, except he didn't understand about the flushing of it. And that created some issues anyway. Yeah. So that's the story on Rocky's miniature toilet that never existed except in this dream I had. It was a cute little toilet anyway, though. Yeah, it was a cute little thing. I will say, when I worked for the separate school board back in the late 80s, doing custodial work on call, just wherever I was needed, if somebody was off sick or on vacation, or when they had to fill a position, because they had to go through a whole process to fill a vacant position because of the union and stuff, They couldn't just hire somebody. They had to go through a bunch of stuff. And I would then go to whatever school they sent me to, and I would do the custodial work there until they filled the position, or until the custodian was able to come back to work if he was sick or if he was on vacation or whatever. Anyway, I remember one school I worked in, and they had a kindergarten classroom, for the little tiny kids. And they had a boys' and a girls' washroom right in the classroom. So it was all self-contained. The classroom had its own washroom. And there was a washroom for little boys, and there's a washroom for little girls. And they actually had tiny toilets in there. Like little toilets that were suited, say, to like a 4 or a 5-year-old. And they were about a quarter of the size, or maybe half the size at most, of a regular adult toilet. And that's the only place I've ever seen those anyway, but they actually did have those in that one school where I worked for a while. It was a school in Carleton Place, Ontario. And this was in the late 1980s, around 1988, 1989, in there. And they had these little toilets anyway. It's the only time I ever saw that in my entire life, but they do exist. These things do exist anyway. In the real world, there is such a thing as a toilet that's smaller than a regular toilet. Anyway, that's enough talk about toilets for now. It's getting a little weird talking about toilets, so we won't talk about toilets anymore. I guess this is good morning. I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. Like I say, it's early here. It's just starting here. I think you guys will find the video of the raccoons quite entertaining. One of the reasons that I was because I talk in another video there, last night I had a really bad time getting Rocky into the camper. And he's now got that he'll go right in there under the camper to a spot where I can't easily get at him. And he won't come out. And I had to get underneath the camper, and I had to reach with my arm, the entire length of my arm, and I was just barely able to get a hold of him then. And I had to take him by the scruff of the neck and drag him out of there, and he was screaming bloody murder when I was doing that. And like I say, I did make a video. I'm not going to show that video because I don't want, it just doesn't look good or sound good. But that's the reason that I did what I did. I can't have him out there all night. At the end of the video, you can see the raccoon actually goes under the camper. Like, I can't have Rocky out there all night. A raccoon would kill Rocky, you know. And also there's fishers and there's coyotes and, you know, there's just too many things. At night, it's not safe at night. In the daytime, it's fine, but once the sun goes down, it's just not safe for him to be out there like that. Anyway, so I'm not going to show that video, though, because I know there are people that would see that and they would feel like it was an act of abuse on my part, because I did hurt Rocky. It wasn't pleasant to see. It was rough. I was really rough with him. Not any rougher than I absolutely had to be. I wasn't rough with him in the sense that I was rough with him because I was trying to punish him for what he was doing. I was rough with him, though, out of necessity, because I had to get him out of where he was, and he was not cooperating with me to come out of there. So I did what I had to do. I don't regret doing it, because Rocky's still alive this morning. And I don't believe he would be had I not done that. But I do regret that it had to be done. And I mean, it really makes me feel bad. I don't want to hurt Rocky. I don't like hurting Rocky. So, yeah. Anyway, that video is going to be deleted. It's still on the tablet, but I am going to delete it. Because like I say, it could be used against me. And my intentions are never to hurt Rocky. My intentions with Rocky are always for the best. And, but like I say, it wouldn't be a very pleasant thing to watch. It wasn't a very pleasant thing to have to do, and it wouldn't be a very pleasant thing to watch, so I'm not going to show it. All right. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. As you can see, he's fine. He's fine. He's not injured or anything. And he's sleeping away peacefully, so he's okay. We'll talk to you later.